Good morning, or good evening, good day, whatever time of day it is. How you doing, my friend? My name is Jordan, head coach here at Without Bounds. Without Bounds now on Instagram. Don't forget the @ of course. We are on YouTube as Without Bounds Coaching, and I am so grateful to have you back here. Stick, you're gonna have to go aside for the moment. Forgive me. I love you. Goodbye. We are here continuing our As a Man Thinketh series. As a man thinketh. But also as a woman or anyone in between thinketh as well. Because this book I read for years, every single day, never missing a beat. If ever I missed a day, I went and read that day and moved on. And I consistently showed up to ingrain this knowledge into myself because it is of the highest necessity that during this time, especially now with riots and protests and coronavirus and all these crazy things, that we have systems in our lives to anchor us, to hold us steady day by day, so that we can show up and not be affected by the poison and vitriol and garbage that comes in from the news. No, we need a way of making sense of everything, and that's why you're here. And I invite you to show up each day moving forward to get closer to truth, to get closer to your truth, and to let me share with you a bit of my own. So, you ready? Let's do this, baby. 6th morning. In the pure heart, there is no room left where personal judgments and hatreds can find lodgment, for it is filled to overflowing with tenderness and love. It sees no evil, and only as men and women succeed in seeing no evil in others will they become free from sin and sorrow and suffering. If men only understood that the heart that sins must sorrow, that the hateful mind tomorrow reaps its barren harvest, weeping, starving, resting not, nor sleeping, tenderness would fill their being. They would see with pity seeing, if they only understood. Ooh, that is deep. There's a lot of layers to kind of unpack here. So if you've watched day 4 and if you've watched day 5, this is an escalation of that. So James Allen is consistently building you up here. So in that fourth evening, he wants you to ask yourself questions that will bring you low enough to help you get higher. Meaning, have humility enough to see where you've erred in thinking about others in a way that is distracted, angry, makes you more invisible and unacknowledged to them because you're angry that they're not acknowledging you. You're angry that they don't see you in your own life. And it's like, you have to ask yourself, how are you treating others? And then move that, into the 5th day. He talks about dwelling in love always and the power that has. So yesterday we talked about the power of love in helping us reframe our whole attitude and mind towards others. And in this, he's taking you to that next level. He's saying, look, if your heart is purified, if you've emptied it of self, if you've emptied it of hate and the pains that you've had that you hold against others and even towards yourself, then you're going to have a place you're going to come to a place in your life that will allow you to be free of all these things, to be freer of the grip that sorrow and pain and hatred have on your heart. So he's talking about here of, because your heart is now emptied of these things, it's filled to overflowing. So I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you just bring yourself down into the heart space. Bring yourself into this heart center, take yourself out of the mind, take yourself out of your head, feeling like yourself, the thing that floats around that isn't constant and doesn't exist anyway, floats around in your mind. If you bring that sense into here, it just becomes filled with this light, filled with joy and happiness. Like every time I bring myself down into the heart center, I feel that. And I want you to feel it too. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, if you don't know what it's like to bring yourself into the heart center, just let me know, because I want to help you get through that. Now, the thing is with seeing evil in others, this is a hard bridge to cross, especially at a time now when we literally saw a man, like it was murder porn, like broadcast to all the world, with his knee on his neck, and that is a frightening scene. And now look, whether you're black, white, brown, red, yellow, anything in between, all I want you to know is that I see you, that I may not understand the exact nuances of your life and the experiences that you have or the levels of oppression that you may experience on a regular basis, but we all are living under the oppression of life, my friend. The Buddha teaches us that life is suffering. And if there's one thing that as a coach that I've recognized coaching black people, Asian people, Jewish people, other whites, I've coached everyone under the sun, from Indians in India to French people living in Brazil to, people in Pakistan to Nigerians in California to people, Polish people and Italians and Eastern Europeans in Michigan. Like, I've coached everyone all over the world. That's what being without bounds is about. And I don't see an ounce of hate in any of these people. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't have hate in their lives or anger, but I don't hold in my heart seeing evil in them. No, I show up to every single person that I can, and I see the good in them. I practice seeing good in them. And it wasn't always like this, my friend. No, believe me, I had those jobs and those days where I show up and I'm like, I hate my coworkers, I hate my boss, I don't like you, you are evil. The fact that you don't give me more money, or the fact that you don't acknowledge how great I am at, massage, or how great I am at, flipping burgers, whatever the hell it was. I felt in my heart that hatred. I felt in my heart that sinful anger towards others, and I had to learn through picking up the weight of love that I could see others better. In fact, it was when I started to see my parents differently. It was when I started to see, wow, I've seen how much greatness they've brought into my life. I've seen with tenderness how much love they have for me. I was able to receive the love, the prayers that my mom sends me on a regular basis. Have you ever received the prayers and love of your loved ones? It's overwhelming. It's amazing. But the challenge is recognizing, like it's saying here, with pity seeing, taking pity upon people, not, I'm better than you, I'm up here. No, it's, I'm on your level, and I want to continue helping you rise with me. I see with pity seeing that you are angry, that you are hateful, that you look at others and you're letting the world divide you, you're letting news divide you, you're letting everything you see on Twitter or Instagram divide you. But underneath it, my friend, there is a force that holds us together, and that is love, that is light, that is goodness, and it is the darkness that heals. And we don't have to be taken down by tyranny or chaos. No, we will find that middle ground, and we will rise together. Thank you. Sixth evening. I know, Jordan, get back to the task at hand. To stand face to face with truth, to arrive after innumerable wanderings and pains at wisdom and bliss, not to be finally defeated and cast out, but to ultimately triumph over every inward foe. Such is man's and woman's divine destiny, such his glorious goal, and this every saint, sage, and savior has declared. A man or woman only begins to be a better person, when he ceases to whine and revile and commences to search for the hidden justice that regulates his life. And as he adapts his mind to that regulating factor, he ceases to accuse others as the cause of his condition and builds himself up in strong and noble thoughts, ceases to kick against circumstances, but begins to use them as aids to his more rapid progress and as a means of discovering the hidden powers and possibilities within himself. Okay, so there are so many layers of greatness. The sixth day is just packed full of layers and layers. So what Alan is talking about here is the long suffering of life itself, meaning the things that you do, the hard things that you do, as Emerson once said, that are worth doing. Because let's look at life. If it's so easy, we get to wake up, eat donuts, watch TV, watch Netflix, maybe, go to work, and then we get to come back and do it all again, and life is just done for us, and, someone made my shoes and clothes in this awesome pouch, and someone printed this book for me, and I didn't have to worry about any of it. But if you choose to do hard things, if you choose to build your body up, if you choose to flex your mind and build skills and develop yourself as a human being, what happens is after all the suffering that you've been through, after all the hard things that you've strived for, you will finally arrive having faced that inward foe, having overcome that part of you that seeks to separate you from others, that seeks to compete and destroy, that seeks to dominate. If you've overcome that aggressive animal inside of you, remember, think back to day one, overcoming and sacrificing the animal thoughts within us and the desires and promptings within us. Then we can declare victory. We can realize we've attained our glory. And that's what every sage and saint is realizing, is that if you can conquer within you that force that would bring you down inside yourself, then you can look at the world. Now, look, I will put a major foot in the ground here and say, look, there are major systemic corruptions against many different types of people. It's broken down by zip code. If you look at the poorest zip codes among us, you will see that there is a systemic racism and corruption built in that puts blacks down, that puts poor whites down, mostly poor blacks, and the descendants of slaves, and it's disgusting and it needs to stop. And it's not the same for a lot of people in this country when you say pick yourself up by your bootstraps. A lot of people, especially young black men and especially black women, when you pick yourself up by your bootstraps, I know that you're dragging history behind you. You're dragging sand and cement, and it's hard. And as a Jew, I know that, my people, we've gone from being the dregs of society, the worst, and we've had to fight our way to the top. We've had to fight our way in a system that oppressed us all the same. And we were slaves in Egypt like you were slaves in America. And we have a shared and common heritage and history. Not just as human beings, but as people with identities, people who see ourselves as different. So what I want you to know is that as an unconventional Jew, as someone who looks to all the information and all the glory around us, and I see the beauty in so many things, I see the beauty in you, and I want you to know that even though you have those boots that are heavy as hell, I am here with you, and I want you to know that yes, while the world may kick you down, you have the power within you to take those fucking boots off and to get stronger. So that maybe if you want to wear those boots, you can carry them with dignity and pride and power. I want you to know that there's power within you that no one can take from you. No matter how oppressed you are, no matter how much society kicks you down, no matter how the mortgage industry, the real estate industry, you name it, puts you down, makes it harder for you to get access to good things, quality education, good learning. Now, I'm not talking about the highly privileged people who are studying at Yale. No, I'm talking about you who are in the streets of, say, Chicago, the streets of Atlanta, who need help. I'm talking about you, baby, whether you're black or not. I'm talking to you because I want you to realize there's power within you, and that if you cease to, dare I say, complain or whine about what the systemic injustices are. No, I want you to fight for them. I want you to fight for what's right. But if you take a moment to see, wow, all that energy that I use to complain, all that energy that I use to see wrong and evil and hate, if I could channel that into my plans to getting out of this mess, if I could channel that to help others and to help my family, that is the inner justice he's talking about. That is the power of the hidden justice in your life, to recognize your own conscious strength. So baby, what I want you to do now is take a moment and really ask yourself, what is the hidden justice regulating your life, and what can you do to activate it? And if you need any help, just let me know, because I have been through the ringer, the fire, walked on the coals and the glass, and I have come out stronger for it. And let's come out stronger together. My name again is Jordan here from Without Bounds. This was day 6 of As a Man Thinketh. Come back for day 7. We got so much more to come. We got a whole month, 20 plus more days of goodness ahead of us, and I'm so excited to share them with you. Make sure you follow us at Without Bounds now. Comment on this video, anything you want to know, anything you want to share with me, I want to know. I want to engage with you. Me and head coach Jimmy are excited to share more of this with you, and I'll be back for tomorrow, baby. Double tap this. I'll see you tomorrow.